Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this June the 17th, 2023. I'm hoping everybody had a great Saturday out there so far. Hope everybody has a great Saturday evening. Hope everybody continues to stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in today's video, we'll talk about your forecast for Sunday and Monday. Also, we're going to take a look at the weather radar across the nation. We're going to take a look at the Watches, Warning, and Advisory map for your locations. Also, we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center overview and a few other products they offer. And also take a look at the tropical weather outlook for the next 48 hours and also for the next 7 days. Okay. If you're a new viewer and have not subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Love to have you. Like these videos, share these videos with your family, friends, and over on social media for like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Platform that you can share it on. Maybe I could get some more subscribers, more viewers and stuff like that to view my forecast content. Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and dive on into the forecast now and get the show on the road here, folks. You can see we got some shower activity over northern Maine, portion of southern Canada. Also, we got some over here just east of Montreal and Toronto, Canada, back into New York. Also in the New Hampshire, Boston area. High pressure dominating South Canada, Southeast Canada too. From Montreal to Toronto, Canada, back over toward Michigan, the Great Lakes region, over toward Chicago, Illinois, back through Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, portion of New York State, also over toward New York as well. Also down to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Virginia, northern portion of North Carolina and West Virginia as well. Shower and thunderstorm activity from the Outer Banks of North Carolina down to the Florida Keys, all the way back to Houston and Central Texas, through Dallas, Texas as well. Also into Oklahoma, Eastern Kansas, all the way into Minneapolis, Minnesota, and Southern Canada there as well, and also into Wisconsin, also into Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and into the Carolinas here as well. In the yellow slashed area there, there's some severe weather possible. From the Panhandle, Florida, all the way into Arkansas, northern Louisiana, also into ports of Alabama and all of Mississippi. High pressure dominating from North Dakota through South Dakota, all the way into Nebraska, back into Texas, Mexico, Gulf of California, all the way into Central and Southern California, much of all of Nevada, on into ports of Utah, through Denver, Colorado. High pressures in charge, through ports of Wyoming there as well. So Southwest Canada looks good, except just around the U.S.-Canadian border, over toward Vancouver, Canada, back through Oregon and Washington and Oregon states, portion of Northwest California, through Idaho, and all the way back into portion of northern Utah, western Wyoming, and also much of Montana, northwestern North Dakota. Also over here in the purple, we got some mixed precipitation around Vancouver through Seattle, Washington, all the way back into Oregon. Also back over in Idaho, and also back into western Montana and portion of Wyoming as well. San Francisco, Los Angeles looks a-okay for your Sunday. Alright, here's a look at your Monday forecast now. You can see we got more showers up here in portion of New York State, all the way down toward the Boston area through New Hampshire, portion of Maine and Vermont. High pressures in charge from Quebec, Canada, all the way through Montreal, Canada, Toronto, Canada, Southeast Canada. Also around the Great Lakes region, all the way back over to Minnesota, back to South Dakota, Wyoming, Utah, portion of Nevada, Central and Southern California, the Gulf of California, all the way through Arizona, New Mexico, down into Mexico as well, Dallas, Houston, Texas area, back to portion of Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Iowa, Minnesota, Chicago, Ohio, back into portion of Virginia, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, even dry conditions expected for New York this time as well. Alrighty, we've got a big area of shower and thunderstorm for you Monday from southern Illinois, eastern Missouri, southern Indiana, southern Ohio, all the way back into North and South Carolina, down to the Florida Keys, Florida Panhandle, and portion of Mississippi and Alabama. We got a red slashed area there, some flash flooding possible for portions of the Carolinas, back into southern Tennessee, all of Georgia, northern Florida, Panhandle, Florida, and also much of Alabama there as well. We got some shower activity from portion of Nevada through Utah, back into Montana, also back at the Canadian-U.S. border along in that vicinity there, Montana, North Dakota, some over here in Washington and Oregon states as well, Northern California. We got mixed precipitation over here from Vancouver, Canada, all the way through western Montana, back into Wyoming, Idaho, portions of northern Utah, all the way into much of Oregon, also into northern California there as well on your Monday. Alrighty, let's move on to the weather radar across the nation. We got widespread shower, maybe a rumble of thunder up here in portions of Maine, all the way back into portions of New York State, also into Vermont, New Hampshire as well, southern Canada there also, southern and southwest Canada. Got some scattered showers and maybe some thunderstorms there as well. Scattered activity over Montana, back into Idaho and eastern portions of Oregon State as well, and also into Minneapolis, Minnesota, and northern Minnesota as well, portion of west central Iowa, also back in the portion of Kansas and Nebraska and South Dakota. Also, we got more shower, maybe a line of thunderstorm moving into Kansas out of Colorado. Scattered activity over Wyoming, also into New Mexico, Southern California. Scattered activity over Texas, also over Louisiana, also in Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. More widespread down here along the Florida Panhandle, all the way into western portions of Florida. Got that little area of got widespread showers and storms over the Bahamas, east of southern Florida, and the Florida Keys. Guam radar currently unavailable. Central and south portion of Alaska got some scattered showers and maybe some storms in your vicinity. Also some scattered activity around the Hawaiian chain island as well. And Puerto Rico got some scattered showers in your vicinity as well. And we got a little bit of shower activity off the southeast coast, off the Carolina coastal waters area there. Alright, let's take a look at the watches, warning, and advisory map for your locations across the nation. You can see we still have that flash flood watch in effect, some flood advisories up here, portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, also back up into Maine. Still got some air quality alerts over here in portions of Pennsylvania, down to Washington, D.C., also down in the eastern North Carolina, central and western North Carolina, northern portions of Tennessee, southern Kentucky, much of Indiana, southwest Ohio, and also over here in portions of Illinois and Missouri. Also over in northeastern portions of Oklahoma and southwestern portions of Arizona. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for you guys in portion of Iowa. More severe thunderstorm watches and warnings ongoing down here in Florida, northern Florida through the Florida Panhandle. We got severe thunderstorm watch in effect for southern Mississippi. Lots of special marine warnings along coastal areas there. Storm warnings there too. Heat advisory still remains in effect for South Florida. Got a special weather statement for marine air interest along the Miami, Florida coastline. Got a coastal flood advisory around the Charleston area of South Carolina, like back up toward Georgetown, South Carolina area. We got excessive heat watches, advisory, heat warnings in effect from Mississippi, all the way through Louisiana, through Texas and central Texas, South Texas there as well, with heat warnings, excessive heat warnings and heat advisory. We got another severe thunderstorm watch over central Texas with several to numerous thunderstorm warnings in that vicinity. We have a tornado watch for the Panhandle of Texas, also in the western Oklahoma and southern portion of Kansas, with a tornado warning there in Oklahoma. We got another severe thunderstorm watch for western Kansas, also in the eastern portion of Colorado, along with a few flash flood warnings and a couple counties under flash flood watches in effect there. River flood warning still continues for South Dakota, back into portions of Idaho, into Nevada as well. Also, we got some special weather statements over here in portion of northern portion of Arizona. We got a large real estate area of wind advisories over all of Nevada, western Utah, also into northwestern portion of Arizona, also in southern California, and also the mountain range. Got a flood advisory there also in the mountain of California. Hawaii has only got one little special weather statement there in their vicinity, and also some gale warnings in the southern portions of Hawaiian chain island. The north side looks a-okay. Alright, now it's time for the Storm Prediction Center overview page. All right. Wyoming and portion of North Dakota. General thunderstorms there expected. General thunderstorms over Minneapolis and also portion of Minnesota. Back into portion of Colorado, back into Texas, and in southern South Carolina, and also general thunderstorms up here in New York and in Maine. That's why you see the widespread showers and storms up in Maine and scattered activity down to the south. Like I said, got activity over the northern Bahamas, bringing some showers and storms there with some gusty winds and some heavy rainfall. Slight risk of severe weather through central Florida, all the way back into Colorado, central Texas. That big old enhanced area for severe weather over in Oklahoma, stretching all the way into Arkansas, part of Mississippi, northern Louisiana, and Texas. Slight risk, like I said, southern Georgia, all the way up into portions of southern Minnesota, all the way back to portions of Nebraska and Colorado as well. As you can see on the convective outlook here, that shows you a little better. It takes off the radar view. General thunderstorms there. There's that big enhanced risk of severe weather over that area I just called out. Current watches in effect, what I just showed on the graphic earlier. Western Iowa. Excuse me. Western portions of Kansas, also eastern portions of Colorado. Also, that's severe thunderstorm watches, tornado watch for Oklahoma, southern portions of Kansas. Also in the central Oklahoma and the portion of the panhandle of Texas, severe thunderstorm watches to the south, central Texas. From Louisiana all the way to the Florida panhandle and over toward North Florida, southern Alabama, southern Mississippi. That's severe thunderstorm watches for your vicinity. MDS discussion, just currently all the watches is in effect. Storm reports. Currently as of this recording, let me go back, I hit something. Okay, now we're back to it. Sorry about that, folks. But anyway, we had tornado report was 0 today. Wind report was 14, 0 was high. Hail report was 28. We had 5 large hail reports, and that brought the total number to 42 as of this current recording. Alright, wind reports currently, what I can see on the map here, look like it took place in central Florida, northern Florida, panhandle Florida, back over to Louisiana, and eastern Louisiana, eastern Colorado, northeastern portions of Arizona, and western Oklahoma. The hail report looks to be in the panhandle Florida, back to Mississippi, Alabama vicinity, eastern Louisiana, central Texas, a couple up here in portions of northwest Missouri, and one over here in portions of New Mexico. Fire weather issues, still got that critical fire weather problem elevated from portions of southeast Arizona all the way into south central and southeastern New Mexico. Critical fire weather is pretty much over central and southern portions of New Mexico, a little bit in western Texas there as well for fire weather problems. Alright, and finally we're going to wrap it up with the tropical weather outlook across the tropical Atlantic. Here's that little system here that I showed earlier in my broadcast. If you'd like to check that out, you're welcome to. This system at 2 p.m. has a 50% chance of development in the next 48 hours. This system here has a 70% in the next 7 days. The track takes it this way currently. With Hurricane Center got it, but I've been thinking that it may take a little more of a southern route. So in the next few forecasts, they may change it a little bit further to the south in the next few updates. So we'll just have to see what that's going to happen. But anyway, we're going to take a look at the tropical weather for the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico. This is for the Eastern Tropical Atlantic for Atlantic number 92L. A tropical wave located several hundred miles south-southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands continues to produce a band of disorganized shower and thunderstorm. Environmental conditions appear conducive for additional development, and a tropical depression is likely to form by early to middle portion of next week. while the system moved westward at 15 to 20 miles per hour across the eastern and central tropical Atlantic. Formation chance through 48 hours, medium 50%. Formation chance through 7 days, high 70%. Alrighty, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Please consider subscribing. Tell your friends, family, and relatives to subscribe to the Mike Bass Weather Forecast channel. Love to have them. Also like these videos, share these videos, and we'll catch you back in the next one. And also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got.